What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dubcast, the official podcast for economists, partiers, and politicians alike. I'm here with your hosts. I'm Tyler. We got Ethan, TJ, and Will. No special guest today. Fuck a special guest. We don't need one. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all
Doing
doing today?
fucking amazing.
Yes,
Doing
sir.
awesome.
All right, TJ, why don't we get the topics rolling already, right out the gate?
All right, our first topic we got queued up today is the opioid
What's
crisis.
going on, everyone? Welcome. Oh shit.
The
Opioid
opioid.
crisis. I know we know a lot about that in Ohio.
Yeah, we've got a big problem with that in Cincy.
Yep, and
Right.
all around America.
Yeah, for real.
And
And the
it's
craziest and
go
the
ahead.
craziest thing I think is that like they say weed is a gateway drug. Do you guys actually think that weed is a gateway drug?
No,
Definitely not.
I think prescription drugs are more gateway drugs into like heroin and shit like that rather than marijuana. 'Cause
Yeah.
when people are prescribed these things and then they actually get addicted to them, they're it's not like weed. It's not like you just start smoking weed and get addicted to it and then you just do heroin right at the fucking bat. It's not like that. It's rather like it's more like people are doing prescription drugs and then they can't get them anymore or their prescription runs out and they find heroin, which is I'm guessing fairly cheap. I don't know the price of heroin around here, but they find that for cheap. Doesn't cost as much as prescription drugs, and then they just fucking die because they do heroin. I mean, what else happens when you do heroin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that yeah, I don't think that weed is really a gateway drug. I mean, I feel like it is kind of a gateway drug in a way.
I mean, a
We
lot
have,
of
we have
people
to look
do
back.
start with weed.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah, a
true.
lot of people do start with weed.
But the question
But
is,
here's
does weed make you want to do more than weed? Or is that an actual mental issue?
I
so
think I think if you're gonna do something, you've already made up your mind to do it. I don't think, I mean, obviously, a lot of people start with weed because it's probably one of the least potent drugs rather than alcohol and nicotine, and shit like that. But just because a lot of people start with it, and that's a lot of people's first experience with something rather than alcohol or nicotine, then people assume that all drug addicts are the way they are because they started with weed, and literally all of them started with weed.
It's
Yeah, I
literally
mean,
a game of
does
stereotypes.
nicotine, is nicotine a gateway drug?
I think well, here
Not necessarily because
because
nicotine will cause you to use more nicotine over time. It's not going to. I've never heard of anyone moving from nicotine upwards. I've heard of moving into heavier amounts of nicotine. Nothing heavier than they're like more potent than nicotine.
And I mean, alcohol, I don't even know if I'd consider alcohol a gateway drug because, I mean, alcohol is bad within itself. Alcohol kills people within itself.
Oh yeah, there are hundreds of cases, probably even more than that, every year. People dying from alcohol comas and whatnot.
So I mean, the
well
only
when I
gateway alcohol is going to give you is a gateway to being an alcoholic.
Yeah,
That's I could think that's the way.
well what I think it really is I believe that it all has to do with the fact that if you like weed is a very easy drug to abuse already. So since weed is already a very easy drug to abuse, if you start taking say oxys for like a surgery or you take something that makes you actually feel high from the doctor, you're gonna be like, oh shit, this is from the doctor. Like the doctor ain't gonna kill me tomorrow,
Right.
right? So you start taking that shit like it's marijuana, like you self medicate it. But the thing is, you can't self medicate with fucking fucking anything.
opioids.
Opioids, yeah. And I mean, I think that there are different types of weed that also are more gateway drugs than other types of weed. I mean, weed is definitely a gateway drug into other types of weed. I mean, we all started with and then
Will, you're
so
so laggy. Is anyone
You're like,
else? Is anyone else hearing that?
Yeah,
yeah, Well, try to close some stuff up on your computer or something.
Anyways, I'll pick up from there. Tyler, to answer your question from before, for the average gram of heroin in the tri-state county is $20 to $60.
Oh, I see you looked that shit up. We got a new fact checker, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys.
We got a new secretary.
Afak is currently sleeping right now or
He's
something.
MIA.
I don't know where Afak is.
So I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You said 20 to 30?
20 to 60 per gram.
20 to 6. That's a wide range. Jesus.
Yeah. I guess that kind of depends on where you are in the tri-state, whether you're in a major city or a smaller town.
But I mean, let's say your prescription runs out, right? And you usually get like, I don't know how many they prescribe at a time, but let's
We'll
say,
They
we'll call
usually
it
give you more
25.
than. Sometimes, I mean, they don't try to give you more than you need, but on most cases, you'll go off of them. You should be going off of them before you're out, I'd say, which is kind of an issue.
Yeah.
right.
And
So let's say they'll just give you like 10 or 15 maybe.
yeah.
And people on the streets are selling each of these pills for maybe $5 a piece. If you do that, then eventually, if you want to buy 15 pills off the streets, then you'll have to pay what, 75, right? If you want to get 15 off the streets. But if
Yeah.
you want to get
When
a
getting them
gram
from
of
your
heroin,
doctor.
but if you want to get a gram of heroin, it'll be like $20, right?
Yeah.
So that, so,
Somewhere around there.
so I mean that's just weighing their options, right? And obviously it looks better because it's cheaper, but it's heroin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's fucking
and they're
heroin.
and they're addicted to opioids, so they don't know any better. They're just like, hey, if these pills make me feel crazy, man, this heroin must hit. It must hit different.
Which is an extreme problem, obviously.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
mean,
still
yeah.
is it still
especially.
We're not
glitchy?
saying heroin's a good drug or anything like that.
You're really quiet, Will.
Is it glitchy?
Oh, you're good now.
Okay.
All right, so what were
All
you?
right. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm getting 95 download for upload, so I'm glitching. This is ridiculous.
Anyways,
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
any last comments on our opioids?
Nah.
No?
No,
All
I'm
right.
good. Satisfied.
I
Uh,
just want to say this for the one time. Fuck prescription companies. Fuck them right in the
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah,
Honestly,
fuck.
the whole market. I mean, I don't even know. I just think just prescription companies in general, they're just money hungry companies. I mean, they don't really care about the person. It's not out of being kind and helping this person feel better. It's out of money.
definitely.
Yeah, honestly, because if you think of it as a business, I mean, who knows what big pharma is actually like? Big pharma could be paying doctors to prescribe you a certain medication so that they can hit their bottom lines. I mean, say people weren't having as many surgeries, right? During this, well, say you got in a car crash, they'd be like, oh, well, if these people come to you and they're in a car crash, they need to be prescribed this medicine because we don't have enough profit from that for this month. Like there are bottom lines, and I mean, it's big money in big pharma. I mean, just
Yeah,
think of how
for
much
sure.
they
There's a
probably make
lot of
those drugs. Like you're paying for the research on the drugs. You're not actually probably paying for the drug itself. I mean, because all drugs just come from a plant.
Damn
yeah,
near everything comes from a plant or a material.
Right, but I mean, when you think of it like that, I mean, well, yeah, everything comes from a plant, but medicine is so small. I mean, you're spending like $500 for a bottle of fucking opioids.
Well, that's
And I mean,
theoretically without insurance.
theoretically without insurance, but I mean, not everyone has good health insurance, and not everyone has insurance in general.
True.
And either way, if it's insurance or not, they're still making that $500. Your insurance is just paying for it. You're not paying for it, but someone else is going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you think of it like that, I mean, there's so much money, and in a capitalistic, everyone just has to keep making money, or no one will have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, keep
All
going. Let's go.
Our next topic of the day is allowing drugs in sport competitions. I say we start this with marijuana and move into whatever drug comes up next.
This is actually very interesting because the NFL actually just I think they I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the NFL, but they're going to start reducing the penalties for players testing positive for THC. Do you think this will impact how they play or how people look at the league or really affect the league at all?
I don't
I
think
think
it
it
have
might
much
help
effect.
recovery rates to an extent, but I don't think performance wise, unless they're like they just rack down a whole 5 grams of dabs before their game, it's not going to really affect them that much.
Yeah,
And I mean
I think it'll.
most players are doing it anyways, even if
exactly.
no
They're just
matter what,
hiding.
yeah, no matter what the penalty is. I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but there's ways to get that stuff out of your piss, right? So
Yeah.
I feel
there's
like.
plenty of players that are already doing this stuff.
I mean, I feel like players are already doing it, but the thing is that the sport organization that you're playing for, association that you're playing for, they're not gonna want to have drug ridden fucking players. I mean, like they're trying to make money too, and that all drugs will do is view because not everyone believes in the idea yet. I mean, like once America can finally like agree on like a term that like weed is finally legal and that it doesn't actually not it's not a major gateway drug. I mean, you got to think we've already like alcohol is legal. And I'd say alcohol is a gateway. So, I mean, when people are watching and they're finding out and like all the news would come up like, oh, the NFL can use drugs during right, like NFL players could use drugs during their games. I mean, I feel like viewership will go down immensely.
Will it? Does anyone agree or disagree with that? Do you guys think the viewership will go down
I
if
definitely think it will go down. Because, like Will was saying, it's just like not everyone has grasped the idea that weed might not be this as bad of a thing as it's portrayed
But do you
to be.
think but do you think that people would actually stop watching NFL football games? I mean, think
No,
about it. Millions
no,
of
no.
people watch
I don't
this.
believe it.
I don't
I
think
don't believe
anyone would stop watching just because they reduce the penalties of finding THC in the players.
it. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anyone's gonna stop watching it. Come on now.
I mean, you gotta
Yeah, I
think.
don't.
Some people, this is literally like one of their only source of entertainment. People live to watch NFL football. I mean, it's probably the biggest sport in American sports, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably it brings in the most money out of all American sports. So to say that so to say that people would just stop watching just because they let the players smoke weed, I don't know about that one. I would have to disagree with Will on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree as well.
Yeah, I don't. It may not lose viewership, but it will lose. It may like. I mean, it depends on. It depends on like the circumstances. Like everything will depend on the circumstances, of where the country's at, where people are at, what's happening with drugs. You know, and I think with this opioid crisis, and since we're spending so much already on the war on drugs and the DEA, I feel like that would just be like for some people that would be a step back from where they're trying to go. And not everyone will watch football. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone will watch it anymore. I don't like. I mean, there are certain people in the world.
You think a fan of football is gonna stop watching it because of a change of rules?
Okay, but not everyone's a diehard football fan. Some people just watch it when it's on and whatnot, and if they're really against drugs, they might stop watching it in general. Just like, oh, it's on, skip.
All right, then I'm
Next
sure they're
channel.
not making. I'm sure they're not making the NFL that much money, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of the real fans and the actual people that are watching this, most people have been watching NFL football games and have been following their favorite teams for decades.
Yeah, I'm sure there
There's
have
a certain
been
type of
many
dedication
worse
to it.
things the NFL has done worse than this.
Right.
I promise
Yeah,
you.
but we
People
got to
still
think
watch
of.
you.
But you got to think of. There, TJ, look up the viewership of NFL. Look up. See, like who's actually watching the NFL? Is it more boomers, or is it more young people, like millennials?
I think it's in the middle.
Yeah, there's probably definitely a wide variety of viewership. Just because it's been around for so long. And what's up, Troy? The fuck?
What's up, Troy?
Yo.
Troy, hey, the homie. I knew he was gonna get in on this one. Hey, Troy.
Yo. What
Hey,
up?
Tyler. Tell us, fill him in on what's going on. Hey, Troy, have you been
So-
watching the stream?
I don't think since like number 4.
All right, yeah. So fill him on what we're talking about. We're on the
Right
stream
now,
right
we are
now, Troy,
talking
so-
about the topic of. Well, we started with the topic of allowing sports drugs in competitions, and it kind of morphed us into weed. If weed gets
Wait,
not
hang on,
necessarily
hang on,
legalized
hang on.
within
Say
the
that again?
NFL,
Say
so
that again.
should drugs be allowed in sports competition? And then should weed, like, so say you get drug tested for the NFL, correct? Say you fail
Hold up.
and they
Yo, what is going on, Troy?
Someone
Is
banging
everything
on
okay?
the door.
Yeah, hold up.
Are you sure the police aren't at your door, Troy?
I'm sorry, guys. This is why we don't
No,
let people
don't mute
in
yourself.
midstream.
Don't be yourself, Troy. We want to hear this, Troy.
So to explain it better, the NFL is reducing penalties for THC found in drug tests. Do you think that this will lead to lower viewership? Thank you, Troy.
All right,
okay,
I think
so
All right,
All right,
I'm
moving
thinking
on.
next.
Thank
Let's
you,
keep
Troy.
going.
All right. Do we have any like last minute thoughts for that one? That was kind of quick.
Nah, I feel like let's get on to the good shit. Let's get on to the good
All
shit,
right,
guys.
moving
All
right
right.
along.
So, if we just want to hit this hard, why not? Why? So, in your guys' opinion, should mass school shootings be portrayed on social media for it, like, to gain social media attention? Yes or no?
I don't think it should be
To
portrayed the way
gain
it's being
social
portrayed
media
right now.
attention.
Or like, should it get social media attention?
I don't
Social
think it
media or just media?
All,
Yeah.
all the above, just media in general.
Nah, I think a little bit of a.
I mean, I
Way
think it should
too
be
much.
announced, but I don't think they should feed into it as much as they do and make everything on like a much larger scale.
Yeah, like ban guns, guys. Let's ban the
like
fucking
stupid
guns.
shit like that.
Like, if honestly, well, guns are probably banned in China because they're socialist and they don't want to be taken over. But imagine if China did that, right? Do you think we would actually know if they banned guns?
I mean, we don't know a lot what China's doing anyways.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But look, here's the problem. China knows everything we do because of the fucking the goddamn media. Yeah, it's all the fucking media, bro. Like, if we didn't talk about it, people wouldn't think about doing it. It like you got to think when we were in kindergarten, right? We school shooting, that shit's taboo. That don't happen around here. That would never happen. School's a safe place. Now people are scared to go to school.
It's definitely a different day and age than what it used to be.
Yeah, it's definitely a day and age than it used to be. And I mean, media attention is inevitable, right? Because they want to make money, right? But I feel like that we're profiting off of the terror, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
we're profiting off of negative, just news about people, and half of it
Like-
isn't even real news. Half
like
of
we
it
don't-
is just slander.
yeah, like we don't. I mean, you got to think. Our parents, do they want to hear about that? Yeah, they want to hear about that. But do we want to hear about that? No, we don't want to freaking hear about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, would it change you today if you didn't hear about, like, I mean, school shootings are what is gonna make our generation, Gen Z, is gonna be around all this crazy, ridiculous shit that we are glorifying at this point, dude. I mean, that shit should stay taboo. We shouldn't talk about it. I mean, we don't talk about weed, right? Like we don't talk about that shit on the news, but we have time to talk about the school shooting. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I
I
think
just feel
people should
like
definitely be alerted that
I feel
hey,
like
there
there's
was a
better,
school
no, but I
shooting.
feel like there's more important news that could be.
I feel like what Will and Troy are trying to say is that people make it
For like
more.
example, hang on. For like, you know, like if you were to go to Germany today and mention anything about the genocide, people would act like they have no idea what you're talking about.
It's very taboo
Because
there now.
yeah, because it's completely taboo. It was kept out of media. Nobody talked about it. It was completely like just
There was
unspoken.
actually a period of time where you would be punished for any press about it, any talk about it, or anything. Like any rights that we have in America, anything like that. If it was talked about Nazi Germany in a certain time period, they would be like criminalized, jailed, everything.
Okay, but do you believe that we should have those rights stripped from us?
I don't
Yeah,
necessarily think
honestly,
we should have those rights.
honestly, it's freedom of the press, right?
It is
But
freedom of the press.
in America, I don't think it should be illegal for someone. See, that's the thing. I don't think it should be illegal for people to make news about it, right? Because it's America. We have to know what's going on.
Freedom of the press.
Freedom of the press. But I feel like it should be a known thing between all media that we don't talk about. Like, look, if a kid got shot, right, and like Price Hill, they're not going to talk about it. You know what I'm
So do
saying?
you think?
Like, we don't have to talk about everything. Like, if a kid gets arrested for weed or big drugs, you know what I'm saying? They're not really gonna. I mean, it's not gonna really be on the news. It's just, oh, this kid got caught today at Mason High School with 15 G's on him. You know, Mason High School is not gonna let the news know about it.
So
Like,
do you think that? Because basically, how I see mass shootings in America, not just school shootings, any attack on a large group of people is just domestic terrorism, right?
Yeah.
right?
So do you feel like something like 9/11 that was fucking insane? I mean, it was worldwide. It changed America. It changed the world, right? It got mass amounts of media attention for years. People still talk about it.
There's literally a day dedicated to it. So
But people would say, but you might say that that's okay because it was a terrorist group. It was the Al Qaeda. They were from a different country, right? Troy, I can hear the stream through. There you go.
All right, I think we need to move on to some stem cells.
What?
yeah, no.
No.
Let us finish the. Let us finish.
Yeah, dude. We're talking here. No, so listen. So,
Oh,
I mean,
finally
like,
the secretary shows up.
oh, thank God, man. Hey, FX, say
Okay,
hi to the
okay,
stream.
guys, just so you know, Troy and Afak, we can't have people joining midstream. I appreciate you guys came through. We just can't have that happening too much. Then more
Sorry, we
people are
got a
gonna
lock
I
on.
told
then more
Affect to
people are gonna
join.
ask to be in the stream, and that's just annoying, right? We don't want that.
Yeah.
I told
All right,
Affect to
well then
join.
let me just clear this up. I'm a fucking host of the stream, so I can join
What?
whenever the fuck I want.
Troy,
Actually, you're
And
not.
Yeah, you're not.
but
all
but
right,
but we're glad
well,
to have you on.
all right, that's fair.
He
Okay,
said
so
that's fair.
Afak.
All right.
Affect is our secretary.
Yeah, Afak has to be on here. He usually keeps himself muted as he's doing now, but we occasionally ask his opinion, right? I'm just trying to fit everyone in because this is very awkward. There's so many. All right.
No, I mean, like, yeah, things like if America didn't know about 9/11, that's, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, people would have
Right.
known
I
about
mean,
9.
it would just be like if we didn't talk about it, it would just be like covering it up. I mean, we were talking about how we wanted America to be transparent with the things that are going on. So why not talk about mass shootings or school shootings in America? You say that
I
over
mean, it
weed.
literally is.
Yeah.
It's categorized under the same thing as a terrorist attack.
It is a terrorist attack. It's
Even
domestic
like
terrorism.
it kind of goes along the same lines as the Boston bombing, the Boston race bombing. That
Right.
was a terrorist attack. So why that got media attention? Why shouldn't a school shooting or a bank shooting or whatever it
But
may be?
just because the Boston bomber was of a different race and he was looking up ISIS videos on how to make bombs. He had all that shit on his computer. Then people classify it as a terrorist attack. You don't see people in the media calling school shootings that happen from some white kid in wherever in fucking Florida. You don't see people calling that a terrorist attack, but it really is.
Holy shit. You're right.
It's the same exact
You're
thing.
so right.
People
Yeah,
they
you're
call it a
fucking
mass shooting. They call it a school shooting. No, it's a terrorist attack.
holy shit.
Was having a revelation right now.
Yeah, dude.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
processing.
I understand. I understand what you mean now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because listen, yeah, if we don't talk about those things and we call that shit like a mass shooting when it's really just a terrorist attack, we're being highly racist, you know what I'm saying? We're just classifying like every like someone shoots everyone out of a hotel, right? It's not a terrorist attack. It's a fucking mass shooting. You know what I'm saying? But it's really a terrorist attack. Because imagine if that guy was Arab.
Yeah, then it's automatically classified. That's stereotyping at that
Or
point.
like
It is
that guy,
automatic.
or like that guy that shot those people in the movie theater. The guy with the I can't remember where it was. The guy
Oh yeah, the
with the guy
movie
with
theater.
the
Yeah.
red hair that was all fucking.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
People reported on that, and it was called, guess what? A mass shooting. No one calls these things a terrorist attack, but it's domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
We don't like to say that anymore because of what has happened previously in our history, but that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it really, really is.
All right.
All right.
So,
Stem cells.
do we want to move into stem cells or finish our category?
Finish our category.
All right. So, should prayers be imposed in schools? If so, why? And then we also want to talk about the Pledge of Allegiance.
No, I don't think in public schools there should be. I think
Yeah.
if you want to, I mean, then yeah, but not. I should not be anything forced upon students at any time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely like you should
that's what
not be
I'm
Yeah.
required.
that's what I'm thinking
Well,
Yeah, like a
because
certain
because
religion, you're gonna
we
go
can't.
practice at like private schools for that reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Because listen, we don't know if that shit's so. Don't send kids to school
And
and
force
teach them
that shit
that
upon
that shit is real. No, just tell them that that shit is real because they don't know if it's real. I don't care how many Bibles you bring up. I don't know if it's 100% real. I only learn real stuff in school. I don't learn like theories in school. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Which
we
in
occasionally learn about theories in the school, but they are talked about as theories. They are not talked about
Muskie
as
has said,
fact.
"TJ, let me lick them toes."
for
TJ,
sure,
what do you
buddy,
say?
for sure.
You heard the man.
Hell yeah, just give me a date and time.
I feel like this topic would just turn into should should Christian schools be a thing or not? Because
Yeah,
I
fuck them
mean,
over.
yeah,
God damn.
nah. I think they have a place.
No, dude,
I
and
think
Matt, I feel like they have a role because we have to remember and hear
You
me
can't.
out.
Yeah, you can't argue to like. You can't argue like freedom of speech and freedom or like right to bear arms and then take away Christian schools. Like it just wouldn't be right, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I feel like the whole freedom of speech thing, right? I mean, if we're talking about prayers in schools, we're going back to that. The whole freedom of speech thing, all of our rights are pretty much stripped away from us in school. I mean,
Yeah, the
if you
sooner you
Yeah,
step through that threshold
you
of doors or
lose.
even
Yeah,
onto
you lose a
property,
lot of
you lose a
rights when you go
majority
into
of your
school.
rights.
Yeah, as yeah.
there was
But it's
a
only because schools are a government agency, but schools are a private entity. Like the same reason, like our rights, but that's only because the principal is over us. Like our rights are still there. Like you have to remember that. Like, you can do anything you want in school because your rights are 100% there because it is a government entity.
Yo,
And they
TJ,
have
your
to
girl
follow.
Lydia's trying to talk to
Okay,
you.
we're not gonna call her my girl. No
I'm
one
off
is
the-
my girl
TJ,
right
shut
now.
the fuck up.
Chill.
Shut up.
Yo, I'm
Hey, hey, hold on. Let's talk about this.
No,
Wait.
no, we're continue with your conversation. Keep going. Keep going.
Will, go ahead.
All
Go.
right. So, oh my God. Jesus Christ. All right. No. So, let me. Yeah. No. So you're no. It's a private land. Like it's a government entity, private land.
Privately owned
So
organization.
yeah, it's pretty much privately. Well, it's not owned because we all own it. It's a government agent, but it is a facility. So the same way people can't just walk into a school, even though we all pay for it after we graduate high school, we cannot walk back into high school because we graduated. And that's just how it is. Like we all pay and we all have rules that have been set for it already. So we don't if we could have in schools, then they could force it on us. Anyone could force religion.
You're getting
But
really
because
laggy
religion
again.
But because is it good?
Oh, gee.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when you talk about what was this?
Lydia says text her back.
I saw.
Lydia says, TJ text me back.
I
TJ,
saw.
give me a text your girl back.
Text your girl, TJ.
Shut the
Come
hell
on
up.
now. Hey, don't text her during the podcast though. Hey, don't distract TJ during the podcast. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. I am focused.
Will, you good? What's happening?
Yeah. What was I saying? Affect, what was I talking about?
I don't know, but I mean what I said was basically we have all of our rights stripped when we walk into school, right? We don't
Oh
actually have
yeah,
freedom of speech. We don't
yeah, but
actually
no.
have.
Oh, I know where I was. I know exactly. So we're under the principal's rule. So we have every right still at the school. It's just the principals run the school. So it's almost like a manager. Like the principals are like watching teachers and like making sure it's all running right. And at the end of the day, the principal just wants to get us all the best grades possible. Right? So every time you're in school, a public school, you have every single 100%. You have freedom of speech, freedom of well, kind of have freedom of press. The thing is, if you want to change the rules, everyone has to agree to change the rules because then ultimately the rules can be changed, right? You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, you have all your rights within the school day, and unless it is interrupting the school day, is what the thing is. If you're interrupting the school day, those rights are taken away. That's when you're not allowed to use those rights. If it will interrupt or cause a distraction throughout the school day.
Except for that,
no,
Fourth Amendment.
No, you can't. You have those rights to disrupt the school. There's a rule to not disrupt the school, and you'll get punishment for disrupting school, but it's not illegal
Yeah,
to
it's not
disrupt
illegal.
school. So right, so like you could easily walk in there and disrupt every class. Like, dude, I've been doing this for years. Like, you gotta know. Like, you gotta remember, dude. Like, I just know my rights. Like, you just walk
Will's
in
the
there,
guy who cusses out all his teachers all the time. You got to remember.
Yeah.
and when you talk to teachers, I mean, they can get mad, they can do whatever, but they can't tell you can't talk anymore. I mean, unless you're like actually disrupting the class and you'd be breaking the rules. But if you're like just arguing with the teacher and they're getting mad, but everyone else in the class is agreeing on what you're doing, you're fine. Because when you go down to the principal and you tell them that everyone agrees with what you're saying, ultimately that teacher's in the wrong because everyone in that
I know
class
y'all see the
agrees,
comments.
everyone pays taxes for that class. So I mean,
I
you
know
get to
y'all see
change the
that.
rules.
Okay,
I'm not even going to
we're
speak
not
on.
gonna respond to that.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
speak on
Well,
what she said.
well, I like what you're
I
saying. I was just
really want to
I'm
respond to this though.
what I was saying about the Fourth Amendment, right? Because I want to focus on that because at any time during the day, whether you're disrupting, whether you're just sitting chilling with the boys, at any time during the day, they can just rip you out of class, rip you out of lunch, whatever, and search you. They can go through your bags, go through your pockets, go through. They can make you take off your sweatshirt, do all this shit.
They took
That's
me
what I
down in underwear.
exactly. That's what I mean of literally, and not no pun intended, strip you of your rights because
Well, it depends on if you see. Here's the thing: they're not stripping you of your rights; they're just infringing your rights. Now, if you want to go back on that, you can, because there's always someone higher. You have to always remember that. Like, if you don't want to do anything in school and you don't really trust what the person that's like saying, like, if you don't trust their word, don't trust their word and go just figure it out yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Like, I mean, because if I have a problem, I'll just go to someone higher. Like, if you don't want to listen to me and you're infringing my rights, and I know you're infringing my rights, I'll go talk to someone else.
yeah, but it's still legal in a public school by law to pull a kid out of class and go through his things without
No,
reasonable cause. Yeah,
no,
it's legal.
not without a parent's permission. Now, if it's under suspicion of drugs, then yeah, because then they'll just get the police because they don't care because they want to
Well, then,
catch you.
because
So
they'll
they're
tell
just
you well, then, because they'll tell you it's reasonable suspicion and it's all this.
well, they can't do it under reasonable suspicion. They can only do it under probable cause. They can only technically search you under probable cause because the only way they
You
can
would
actually
think.
search you
The
is
school
no.
can't
You
Yeah,
search
would
you no matter
think
but
that,
what.
here's the
yes,
thing. You would
provided you are
think
not
that,
this.
Will, but
Hold
you
on.
have to
Well,
remember.
well,
You have to
because
One
no,
at a
remember.
time. One at a time.
Provided you are not a student, if you're in a school environment, teachers and administrators can search without either permission or a warrant. Even so, students still have rights, and knowing which searches are illegal might just save your child from the time in front of the school board. So yes, certain searches are illegal without
okay, but
without
but but that's only if
probable
you
cause.
that's only if you go into let them search you. I mean, if you don't want them to search you, like if they're trying to search me and I know it's infringing my rights, I'll be like, all right, so why are you searching me? And if they say it's under drugs though, then you're fucked. Because the only way a police officer can search you in school is if the principal says yes, you're allowed to search that student. Because technically the principals act kind of like your mom, you know, like while you're at school, they're your parents kind of thing. So like a policeman cannot just go and search you without the parents' permission. But it's like a different type of that. Like they can't come and search you because you're not at your home. They're not your parents. So they can't just search you. Like they can't just let someone search you.
Hey, Afak, if you would, could you just look up Fourth Amendment in schools? Because I know that there's an exception. There's a special little exception
Yeah.
to the
It's if
Fourth
it's if
Amendment.
it if it's illegal. Because look, if it's illegal or like say you rob, they have suspicion of you robbing someone, then yeah, they can definitely search you because if they don't search you, then they'll just call the cops on you, and the cops will write a report on you, and then they'll get a warrant to be able to search you. But like, why would you want to go that far when instead the principals that are going to try to like make it less of something? Because I mean, dude, what principal wants to have people being arrested out of their school? Like that is not good. Like I mean, that goes all over.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, like it happens all the time, but it's only because they had like drugs or something on, right? Like fights, people rarely go to jail unless it's like second offense. Even though every single fight in the large commons, you could go to jail and get a felony. But that depends on if the principals will let the cops get involved or will tell the cops that they can't get involved and that they're going to take care of it. That's why if you're on the good side of the principal, they they can cover your stuff up. Like they don't have to tell anyone. Like they're not required to tell anyone anything unless you're trying to kill yourself.
So I pulled
They,
something up since AFAC does not say anything. It says students in U.S. public schools have the Fourth Amendment right to be free from unreasonable searches. The courts have recently expanded the right of school officials to conduct student searches, resulting in part from recent acts of school violence and heightened public scrutiny. So they
so
can, so it is legal, but they're still violating the basic idea of the Fourth Amendment, which is you have protection against unreasonable searches.
see, like I've been trying. They tried to search my phone once, and I was like, "You're not gonna search my phone." And then because I was like, "I showed you the pictures I needed to. You don't need to see anything in my phone." And she was like, "Oh, okay." Literally a cop sitting right there, right? Like, but they couldn't do anything because it's not illegal. Like I'm not. It's not illegal to take a video of a fight, so they can't search me. They can't search the phone because it's not illegal. Like only if, and then like they had to call my mom
Yeah, but
because
but you're not realizing most students don't understand that they have certain rights. Most students wouldn't have the
oh yeah,
balls to
yeah,
go to a
yeah,
principal and say, "No, you're not going to search me."
yeah, yeah. But that's the problem with people in high school is that we're vulnerable for that. Like you go in your class and you talk about like guns are good, people are gonna flip. People are gonna lose it. You're gonna be like, oh, guns are terrible. Guns should be illegal. But should not be illegal. It's like, what was I talking about? How was I trying to make that round circle? Completely forgot.
Anywho,
But anyway,
Do you guys believe teachers should have concealed carry in their
mm,
classrooms?
no.
I don't know about that.
I don't think they
No.
should. I don't
Well,
think they
because
should.
look,
No.
we've all met our teachers. Like we know teachers. We're all juniors, so we know the sketchy ass shit around here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had teachers fucking smoking out in their car a couple of
Just because someone's hired as a teacher doesn't mean they're completely trustworthy. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
Right, like it's
Same
just a
goes for adults.
background
I mean,
check.
just because someone is an adult doesn't mean they're smart.
True.
Yeah, I believe. But I mean,
I just feel like I remember when that was brought up. I think it was after the Parkland deal. They that certain states were thinking about letting teachers conceal guns in the classroom, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. I think all that'll do is cause more problems, not only in the schools, but in the media. Just think about how much shit that these states would have to deal with if they let teachers conceal guns in the classroom. Think of how much shit they would take from the
I mean, where
media,
would they
from the
keep it?
Democrats.
For where a student.
I cannot hear you at all, Ethan.
My fault. I said, where would they even keep it that a student couldn't get a hold of it? And I mean, if a
Exactly.
student couldn't get a hold of it, then the teacher wouldn't get a hold of it quick enough because it'd be in some like I don't know. It's just too many issues
And
and not
you can't just train teachers to be in that type of situation. That takes
right,
that's something that takes mass amounts of training and preparation. It's not about the physical aspect. Anyone can aim a gun and shoot a gun. It's about the mental aspect of I am in a classroom full of kids. I'm in a school full of thousands of students and I have to protect everyone in here. I don't think the teachers should have to
That's a
take that
lot of shit.
responsibility.
well. We also got to think. Not every school is the same size as us. So I mean, like, even though we're in the biggest, like one of the biggest schools in Ohio, it uh doesn't mean that we're unsafe. Because I feel like we feel more safe in our school than any school in Ohio. I mean, look how many cops we have. I mean, dude, you have a cop running to fights and shit, bro.
But does that make you more safe? Does that make you feel more safe?
Yeah,
Does that make you feel less safe?
it makes me feel way more
But I
safe.
mean, I'm pretty sure that there was a school shooting and they had a cop, and that cop actually got shot. I'm pretty sure. I forget which one it was, but I'm
I mean,
pretty sure I heard about it.
You gotta
Yeah,
show.
but you gotta shoot 5 of them, and then you gotta deal with the police department across
Yeah,
the
but
street.
but the cops in the school only have like 13-round magazine and a handgun, and most of the time somebody coming into a school is coming in with a 25-round, a 30-round AR-15. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
but
big
dude, in their
difference.
in their in their in their little outpost, dude, they have like a fucking gun safe.
No, they don't.
They don't have guns, like big guns.
No, they have the gun on their waist. You can't have a gun safe in a school. You're a cop. It doesn't just make it okay to have a gun safe.
I
Yeah, you could
mean,
just store guns in a school. Even
I
if
mean, they
you're a
might have
cop.
like a different gun out in like their patrol car or something, but no, there's no other guns in the school besides the one on the waist.
And I
yeah,
mean,
you can't
even
do
then,
that.
you said there's cops in the school, but I mean, think about how many there are at a time. I mean, there's probably how many do you guys think there is at a time?
Like 3 or 4.
2.
I think 3 or 4.
So
There's Hurlinger and Dyer.
let's say there's like
Erlinger, Dyer, like the other skinny cop with the black hair, the big cop, and then we got like the hall monitor lady.
so I mean, even if there is like 2 or 3 or 4, they can't be in all places at the same time. So if something like this were to happen, there
Right.
would
There's like
there would be
several entrances,
casualties.
3 floors.
It would cause a lot of damage, no doubt.
If someone comes into a school with a gun and has the mindset and the mentality of I'm going to kill someone, whether there are even 100 cops in a school the size of Mason, there are going to be at least 1 or 2 casualties. There's no way around it.
I just
Yeah,
realized the picture on the podcast still says
it says
episode 2.
episode 2. Yeah.
Jesus
I'll
Christ.
I'll change that right now. How about that? Round of applause for
Alright,
myself.
Astro God says, "What's the topic tonight?"
Well,
I
there's
mean,
been
we
a
have a
few
couple topics.
topics.
All right,
There has been a few topics.
we got some more interesting topics on the way.
We're getting ready to hop into stem cells and artificial human DNA. If you want to hop in on that with us, like chat about it and whatnot.
Yeah. So
Alright.
talk about stem cells.
Stem cells. All right. Well, let's get into test tube babies. If a baby is artificially grown without actual intercourse, sex, or some sort of medical treatment to cause the baby naturally, do you think that is okay and morally correct?
To be completely honest, I think this could I know it could save a lot of issues, but morally, it gives me a little bit of a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think that person was literally grown in a lab. Not to diss on people who that will happen to, because it is bound to start happening. But it is a very weird feeling.
That is just whack. That is just whack.
It's a weird thing to talk about just because I mean anything that's not normal that we usually don't talk about. Something like test tube babies. I mean, it's just you're just gonna think about it and you're just gonna think, wow, that's fucking weird. But to be honest, that could be our future. You know what I'm
It could,
saying?
it very well could. And along with other stem cell researches that like have you guys heard about that they are literally taking stem cells from humans and like so say someone had a liver deficiency or their liver gave out or kidney or whatever it may be and they wanted a new one, they get the stem cells from them and they put it in a petri dish until it starts growing a liver. Then they put it in a pig because a pig is the closest to a human basically organ wise and organ size wise.
Anatomy wise.
Yeah, anatomy wise, that basically it grows in the pig. Then they take it out of the pig and put it back in the human. Now, if that doesn't give you a weird ass vibe, I don't know what will.
Right.
No,
But
I don't think it gives me a weird vibe because, dude, that's been happening for years. I mean, dude, pigs have been giving us body parts for years. Now, I mean, And I mean,
but it's not technically legal yet either.
yeah, it's not
But
legal because it
It's
has to
under
be.
FDA testing right now.
But that could save your life one day. I mean, one
Right.
day when you're about to die and you're like sitting on a deathbed and they're like, "What do you like? What do you do?" Right? Like, no one's gonna like give you their freaking liver. So like, what are you gonna do? And those
Astro God says, imagine if someone was made in a whole lab but still ugly.
Bruh. That's what I was thinking about. If they could alter genetics that heavily, could they make like literally supermodels in fucking
I
mass
mean,
quantity?
everyone would be a
when you're getting,
supermodel. So no.
I mean, when you're getting into something like that, when it's characteristics that don't really affect actual quality of life, because when we talk about actual quality of life, we think, are you living and breathing, living a healthy life, and are you comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I just think then then we could start questioning the morality of it. But when it comes down to saving someone's life, I mean,
I think that
if
is
it's
okay.
if it's
Yeah.
safe, then it might have to it might just be necessary. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's their call at that point.
Right.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
definitely could be a great call to save someone's life, but
Now,
they
for the beauty aspect or something like that, I think that could
or even to enhance
destroy.
performance within certain
I think
things
that
like
could
athletic
destroy the
ability.
world as we know it.
Yeah.
That's what
Doing
plastic
something like
surgery is
that.
for.
Yeah, exactly. Like go to a plastic surgeon, it probably costs less too.
But if it's altering like athleticism and stuff, that could be the end to so much.
Right. Then we would
Yeah,
then we would
it
just
would be the end.
lose we would just
The
lose
meaning,
people
the
with
meaning of life.
natural abilities, natural talents. Everyone would be so talented. Then I mean, just imagine that everyone would be so talented and so perfect that
Well, it would
nothing
be
would
like a whole
matter
new
anymore.
superior. It would be like a whole new superior,
Right? We'd be like
like
aliens.
race.
We
It would
wouldn't
be
even
like
be
a whole
humans
different, yeah.
anymore at that point.
Yeah, we would be literally probably a whole new classification, if
We
anything.
would be aliens. We would
Yeah.
be aliens. That's what we would. I mean, okay. Let's.
And
I don't.
and
Yeah.
theoretically standing.
Oh, what we think of aliens when we think of them. You know, the stereotypical thought of aliens. That's what we
You
would.
think green, tall, strong, maybe
Well,
more.
Well,
yeah. I just.
no. When
No,
I
no,
think of
like aliens. Like I'm
I,
thinking, like
I'm thinking of.
you don't belong here, like intruder to
no,
my,
I
my
don't think that's
area.
what an alien is. I think
Yeah, I think of
alien.
advanced. I think of an advanced.
No, I think when I think of alien, like I think of the actual definition of alien, which is just something different. So, so
Well, it's
we would be alien to the people that we think are alien too. That's what you have to remember. Like to a genetic baby, like baby that's made with genetics, they'd be like, who are these people and why do they not have the same thoughts as me? You know what I'm saying? Because like, your whole thought process, your brain genetics, they could all be changed. You know, like you could be like a complete, like you could be like the most unique person on earth, but at the same time, we could also be. So I mean, no,
so
that wouldn't work
alien.
because
Alien means different country, race, or group. Usually one you do not like or are frightened of.
So, how I think of not the technical definition of alien, but when we're thinking of maybe extraterrestrial is a better
Or
term
even
for it.
superior to not superior, but more advanced than what we
Not
are right
even
now.
more advanced, because if you think about it, any extraterrestrial being, if we go to Mars or if we go to the moon and find a living life form, it could be so basic. It could be literally bacteria. That would be considered an alien.
That's true.
If it was created in a different planet, that is considered extraterrestrial. No matter what life
Yeah, any
form it
living
is.
organism from a different planet.
well, you know, you could think of it like that, but also like the coronavirus is technically an alien
No,
because it's
because
alien to us.
No,
it
because that
comes
was
from Earth.
formatted on Earth. That's not alien to us.
But it's alien to us because it's not part of our species. It's
Okay,
alien to our
but then you're
species.
saying the
But
flu
but but but
is
everything is
alien and
But it
alien.
was
But it's
made
not.
on this earth, Will. It was
But
made
no.
on
But
Earth, so
it's
it's not alien
alien
to
to
Earth.
us. Anything can be alien, right? Like anything could be alien to us. Like
Yeah,
if
he's
we
saying
get
alien. You guys are thinking of extraterrestrial.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
Something that
thinking
yeah,
of
is
yeah. You're right.
extraterrestrial is
extraterrestrial.
made on a different planet.
But when I think of alien, I think of like, yeah, that virus is alien to the United States. That virus is actually alien to the human race. because we've never had it. It's an animal. It's a completely different, like, animals are aliens to us
I
because
wouldn't
they
go
don't
as
think.
far to say it's alien to the human race, but it's alien to the immune system of the human body.
Yeah, because it's not something that should intrude. That should be able to intrude, and your body would just be fine with it. Like anything that comes into your body, like air or food or anything, your body
Is
has a reaction
automatically,
to it.
yeah, it's filtered and everything else, and then your body has a natural reaction or an unnatural reaction to it.
Well, but the thing about the flu is it's not alien because we're immune. Like, our
Not
bodies
necessarily
have
because
had the
people
flu. Like,
still
we
catch the
have like
flu,
we have a vaccination to make sure that the flu will
but that's a
never be alien.
man-made vaccination. So alien is speaking in natural time. Yeah, they're unvaxxed too. So that can't apply to everyone either. But which we're not gonna get into because if you're an anti-vaxxer, you're fucking retarded. But anyways, if my bad, you are stupid.
Come on, man.
Get it together, bro.
anyway, anyways, if the flu is not necessarily alien, nor is the coronavirus. It is alien. It's a foreign or to the human body. It wouldn't even consider it alien, really.
Well, it wouldn't be. I mean, it would be foreign, but foreign is also alien because it's different.
Yeah, doesn't
Anything
foreign just mean
different,
different?
yeah, foreign means like different,
Foreign
like
is out of the ordinary.
yeah. So, but alien is something that, like, we have never had. The reason it's hitting us so hard is because, first off, coronavirus is not really like the coronavirus, like, before COVID-19 is pretty, like, it's rare. It's not the biggest thing. It's not really gonna hit you, right? But, like, this is alien because it's completely new. We never knew it even existed.
Okay, but what happened back way when the flu hadn't been discovered yet, and we had no vaccinations for flus?
Then it was alien to us.
But that's not how alienism works.
Well, it is
Because that's a
because
man-made
look, well,
vaccination.
no, because what you're forgetting is, well, no, the flu vaccine is not man-made. The flu vaccine is just part of the flu.
It is part of the flu. You're correct. That's how a
And it
vaccine
comes
works.
and then, so yeah, so it makes sure that your body knows, your immune system knows when the flu comes to you, like when we get a coronavirus vaccine, it's going to have RNA of coronavirus so that your body knows it's there, so it's not going to be foreign. It's already in you. Your
But
body already
it's
knows
still
about it.
alien to your body. Because you can still catch the flu with a vaccine.
Well, you'll still be able to catch coronavirus with the vaccine. It's just,
Exactly. So it is still alien to your body, but it is not necessarily an alien life form.
but what? Well, no, it would not be alien to your body because your body would know what it is. Like, that's the thing, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, your body is supposed to know what's coming in and out, so it knows how to react. So, like, when you get a cold, your body has a natural reaction, like, oh shoot, I gotta just turn up, like, into high mode. I may get a little bit hot and burn it off. Where when your body gets coronavirus, it doesn't know what to do. It's so alien. So like, it gets into you, and then your body gets extremely hot. A fever is just your body getting hot to burn off the virus inside of you, because viruses die in hotter climates. So your
Yeah.
body gets hot. So it's not alien to that. Like, but look, your body gets so hot with coronavirus that it can actually make you sweat so bad. But, like, if your body already knew about it, it would be like, oh, this is easy. I know what to do. I know how to kill it. I know what the RNA and DNA of it is. It can do something. It knows exactly what to do, and it doesn't just spiral out of control and have a complete different reaction. And that's the same thing with aliens. I mean, just think if extraterrestrial came here. For, like, the first, like, 4 years, we'd think, like, wow, those are aliens. But after, we'd be like, oh, those are just this, because it's not alien to us. It's just this. Like, before Mexicans saw, like, why do you think like, I'm pretty sure Christopher Columbus thought the Native American aliens.
Actually, he
Did
thought
you?
they were Indians because he thought he was sailing to the wrong. He thought basically that he sailed so far that he hit India when he hit a whole different side of the world. So that's why they were called Indians for a short period of time.
Well, I know things like, but look, but if you never saw Indians, say, he could call them aliens because you never know what it looked
But
like
India
before.
had already been discovered, so he thought they were Indians. So he didn't
Well,
think.
think if we saw a person, like a human, and they were purple, we'd be like, "What the fuck is that? An alien?
Hmm,
A
or
human?"
plastic surgery gone wrong.
Yeah, but we'd also be like, "That looks like an alien." Like, could be called an alien. Like an alien, like like in some movies, they call an alien a normal person. It just acts extremely weird. It's like be an alien because it's just not us.
When
We're
I
scared of it.
I have an interesting subtopic. When, if ever, do you guys think we will come in contact with extraterrestrial beings?
I think it will not be any time in the near future. We probably out of our
Hopefully, never in
lifetime.
my life. I'm too scared of that shit, bro.
Why are you
E-
I
scared?
hope.
Even even if it's whether you want it to or not, it's definitely going to be out of our life range.
I mean,
Well,
why am
we
I
don't know
scared?
that.
Because I mean, bro, I think it's something that's going on. I'm not. Okay, I'm not. Listen. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it isn't. But I'm a skeptic of a lot of things, and that's one of the things that I'm definitely a skeptic of. I think there's a chance. I think the world is pretty crazy, and there's a chance of anything.
I believe it 100%. I believe that there are extraterrestrial beings. They could be so far away. They could be on the edge of the fucking universe.
There
That
could be another Earth.
it would be impossible for us to contact, right? I mean, people don't know actually how big the universe is.
Exactly, and I mean there could be 4 more Earths. There could be a million. It's infinite.
What does Will
And
think? Aliens?
I think aliens. I think that aliens will eventually be here, but I don't. I would never. I wouldn't put that it would be our life.
I
I
don't
mean,
think. Okay, listen. I
who
don't.
knows? Aliens could be on the way right now. They could be 2 miles away from the Earth, and we'd never know. Like
I
we just
mean, we
never
would
know
know
because
because our satellites would pick it up if they were 2 miles
yeah,
away. But
I mean they could be on the Earth right now,
but
bro.
listen, but listen, but listen. If we do find it, maybe in our lifetimes, right? I'll go that far. If we do find it in our lifetimes, I don't think it'll be what we expect. I think that
definitely not.
maybe we'll find some bacteria or some microorganism that lives on maybe Mars or something that we haven't really explored that much yet. We have explored Mars, not that much. We've only sent rovers there. I feel like it won't be this massive advanced civilization that we're thinking of. Maybe it is, who knows? But I just feel like it won't be exactly what we expect.
Well, if you think about it in terms of evolution, the humans evolved. What's that word?
Evolved.
Evolved. Yeah, they evolved from. It's just a theory, which I believe in. Evolved from apes, and those apes evolved
And
from.
they took magic mushrooms and they evolved into humans. We get it. Yeah. No, I'm
Exactly,
playing.
but if you keep going back and back and back, they were these microorganisms, they were these bacterias before they kept evolving. So, who's to say that on another Earth so far out in another universe, there is not some microorganisms that have evolved even farther than we have and have who knows what they have?
Right. Who
Exactly.
knows? Like I said, people don't actually know how big the universe is. It's fucking huge. It's literally
It's
everything.
It's
ginormous.
literally endless.
Right. It's literally everything. It makes up everything that we've ever experienced.
Exactly. So why
Exactly.
the hell wouldn't there be more of us?
Right.
Why wouldn't there be?
If we have this endless space-time continuum black in the sky thing, this that we call the universe, why would there not be? Why are
It,
we the only ones here?
I mean, it'd be almost ignorant to think that we're the only. If it'd be ignorant to think that we're the most advanced civilization in the universe. I think that'd be a very ignorant thought.
Yeah, especially with not knowing if we are or not, because we only have how much percentage of the ocean discovered? Like what?
Like
7%.
yeah, not even 10.
Not even 10% of the ocean discovered, but we have even less than that of space.
Space we have like very small fraction of a fraction discovered.
Yeah, like it's numbers upon numbers upon numbers, and then a decimal, and then numbers and numbers and numbers. It's very small.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that one. In fact, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's been loading for me. I didn't know if it was.
It's been loading. I'm watching it right now. If you're
Like I don't know which form they'd be in, whether it's like an insect or like an actual alien, like how we imagined. But there's definitely life out there. Like, and I
You
just
think
want
it's
to
an
get some.
insect? You think it could be an insect, FX?
I don't know, honestly.
Well,
It could
so,
be. It could
something
be
by
like an
anything.
insect, he
insect,
meant,
right?
yeah, I think he meant something like a microorganism.
Yeah, it could probably be something like that, or even like. Honestly, I don't know. It could be anything. It could be humans like us, just in different forms, or like bigger, or they could
Yeah,
be
or
robots,
even smaller. They could be smaller too. They could be like dwarf form of us.
Like Mark
or they could be
Zuckerberg.
like, or even
Exactly.
giants. They could be giants also living out there.
Yeah, they could be on some
Dude, they could have
planet the
like
size of
4
Saturn.
testicles, bro.
Okay, Ethan.
All right, Ethan, just someone mute him.
En-
Whoa, that's
enough
a
enough internet for Ethan today.
yo. What
Yeah.
happened to like freedom of? What happened to? What happened to freedom of opinions?
It's freedom of speech. Get it right. And
Of
if you're gonna
opinions?
use,
No, on the podcast. You know, you gotta. They could have 4
I said
testicles. I think
I
that's a
said
fair
f-
thought.
I mean I did say free thinking.
Yeah,
It is
they
a
could.
fair thought. I mean
I mean,
okay.
bro, we don't know how they reproduce out
Okay.
here. I mean, they probably think that we're pretty crazy.
Yeah,
They probably think,
they probably think 2 testicles is weird. Imagine that. They're just like, oh, that's fucking weird. They have 2 balls. What the fuck?
when they've got a whole
Right.
like sack full of 90.
right? They're probably like, look at those people.
Jesus.
And I mean, look, humans
All right,
only.
hold on. Let's
what-
just stop that and continue.
No. This is like different. Don't worry. This isn't like that. All right, look. Think about the percentage of like our brain that we actually use
Yeah.
compared to. I mean, think about if some life form can use like 90% of their brain.
So we use commonly 10% of our brain, and if you're stretching that ability, it goes up to 15. So like Ethan was saying, if you're using 90% of a brain like ours, with some alien life form on some different planet far away in a galaxy far away, Star Wars, um, who knows? They could have turret hands that shoot laser beams. Like, who knows?
I think the 10% brain thing is a theory. I don't think it's actually a fact.
Yeah.
Cause
Exactly.
there is also a whole brain theory.
Do you think humans use their whole?
No, I don't think. But I'm just saying it's theory. I don't think it's actually fact. It is stated as fact. I looked it up. The idea, it says idea, that we only use 10% of our brain is deeply entrenched in popular culture and often stated as facts in books and movies. A study in 2013 found that 65% of Americans believe this is true. There's probably more nowadays. But it is only just a theory, so keep that in mind.
Which, another subtopic, why do you think aliens became so popular and there are so many believers in these extraterrestrial beings? Is it because of monkey see monkey do theory? Like
Do you want me to be
This is
honest,
why.
TJ? Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Because more and more people are using psychedelics.
Yeah, fair
Uh,
enough.
no. I mean, maybe partially, but look.
I mean, I feel like that goes out to the stoners there, but like the people who haven't tried psychedelics yet, that are still these
Look.
guys that wear tinfoil helmets to avoid being abducted.
Look,
Which
let
is
me
not saying you're
explain.
wrong for that.
No, I think okay.
And we're
Look,
not saying we've done psychedelics.
I think certain people are scared of the unknown or are very interested. I think
I think
me
they're intrigued
included.
by it.
One sec. I think me included. Yeah, I think me included. People are like want to know about the unknown, especially deep thinkers. They want to know what's out there. Why wouldn't we want to know what we don't know?
What I mean is, there's a lot more open-minded people nowadays. Cause back in like, I don't know, maybe like the 60s and 70s and whatnot,
It was unacceptable. It was
Even
more
even yeah,
unacceptable to express that.
even
That's
back
why. It's more
further,
acceptable in the media.
people were suppressed a lot more for expressing their opinions and their beliefs, but nowadays you can just get on the internet and literally say whatever the fuck you want, and unless you're threatening somebody, you can get away with it. The government
And I
doesn't give a
mean,
shit
some
what you say.
stories. I mean, you'll hear some stories from some people. I mean, Joe Rogan has interviewed some people, and you'll listen to them speak, and there'll be a genuine fear talking about these crazy memories. I mean, this all these abduction stories, and we don't know if they're true or not. We could think, I mean, these people could be crazy, but
These people could be
some
mentally
people,
insane.
some people have scars on their body that, once again, they could be insane. We don't know. There's no evidence, but there are some stories that will keep you up at night. I promise you that.
Yeah, no.
I
For
don't
sure.
know about alien encounters and UFO sightings because a lot of people just do shit for clout.
Well, not that even. Like people will believe themselves no matter what. So I mean, like
I
if
mean,
you
but look, what if
believe
people
enough, if you
actually see a
believe that
bunch
you
of
see
crazy
no, but
shit?
no, but if you look outside and you see some flash of light in the sky, and you're like, that is a fucking alien. You know what? Like just imagine if you look for aliens. Like we don't look for them. Like every day, are you looking for aliens? Like some
Well,
people
no.
look. Well, some people do just
I'm talking
look for
about the
aliens.
people who aren't looking, and some
Rapid said,
crazy.
"Ask Ethan if he knows Cam from."
Do y'all know Cam works at Kroger?
Yeah,
Oh,
we all know.
cool.
Cam.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope, guys.
What up, boy?
Go ahead,
What?
William.
William Paget,
Yeah,
continue
I
what
mean,
you were saying.
if you're looking for aliens every single day, then I mean, and you see something, you see something small, or even you don't see anything, you're probably not gonna want to like use your whole life up trying to look for aliens and never find aliens. Like I mean, people that have looked for aliens their whole life and never have found anything. They're gonna be the people that say they found aliens.
I mean, yeah, I feel like
Hey,
some
hey,
of
hey,
it
hey,
could
hey, 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 hey! I got a Snapchat from someone who's watching, and she said you probably won't see this from my cousin's school, GA. Uh, the the gun plan backfired, and the teacher ended up locking his classroom with kids inside while he had this gun out
Troy. Can you
and
mute your
was.
mic?
Mute yourself, please. All right,
I'm talking.
all right. So, yeah, the gun plan backfired, and the teacher ended up locking his classroom with kids inside while he had a gun out and was threatening to shoot. So I think that's a prime example. Just going back to that real quick
Sheesh.
of why we shouldn't do that. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
because
like
there's so much danger. There's so much gray area of what is like what could be called like a terrorist attack. Like imagine if there's like a huge fight and teachers just can't stop it. Do we want teachers to be able to shoot a gun, or do we want a police officer to be able to stop it? Right. If we have to protect, we're automatically gonna say they're more than trained because they're not, they have no defenses right now. And I'm like, I mean, they don't have many defenses, but I mean this may just have to be part of our new era. You know what I'm saying? Like like we're gonna have to figure out eventually how to stop it.
there's definitely other
And
ways than
ultimately
giving teachers guns to keep
and
school safe.
ultimately it's either gonna be that or high amounts of surveillance. And I'm scared for surveillance because I don't
yeah,
want people
We already have
being
a
able
lot.
like we already have a lot, but in order to stop a shooting, we're gonna have to have like X so they know what's in your pocket.
And
Imagine.
I feel bad for our kids because they're gonna have to go through a lot of shit that they're gonna go through a lot of pain. I mean, like the world, it gets scarier and scarier every single day. I mean, more and more advanced technology is getting made for the good, but I mean, the more good things that happen with these technological advances, the more bad things that can potentially happen too. I mean, all these new weapons, nuclear stuff.
Yeah, what happens when a kid gets a hold of some nuclear
This goes
material,
on to
fucks some shit up?
no, no, listen. This goes
The
this
chances of
this
that
th-
ever happening.
yeah, this kind of relates though. This relates to what we were talking about with Hans, because he said the government is very heavily surveillancing stuff that we're doing, especially online and on our phones. And they've been preventing a lot of stuff that could have happened. We just didn't know about it. Because obviously they're not going to promote stuff that could have happened. Oh, this guy said he was going to shoot up some place, but the government prevented it. They're not going to put that out. They're just going to cause panic.
Would you want to know?
I mean,
I don't know if I would.
that is a tough question. That's a very good question.
I'm gonna go with no on that one because
I
No,
might have to say
from
no.
a
definitely. I'm
general
gonna have to
aspect,
say
if a shit ton of people that news got out to, that's just gonna induce so much panic.
Right. I mean,
I mean,
me
it induced
personally,
chaos. It induced chaos into my own head. I
Right.
couldn't imagine what it would do to a large group of people.
I mean, thinking about that stuff, it doesn't really bother me. But I know the American public, there's so many people in America that overreact and do shit based on their emotions, and they don't just calm down and think about what they do and what they say and how they react to certain situations. So I think that they should probably keep it under wraps, the shit that could happen. But this goes back to the media coverage and stuff. I think that the stuff that does happen and the stuff that does happen in the U.S. should be labeled as terrorism, but nobody has the balls to label it as domestic terrorism. We say mass shootings, we say school shootings, we say this and that. I just think I just think people are a little hypocritical. I just think the media is very hypocritical as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think the media is a large problem.
Definitely.
I think there could be a lot of great things promoted on the media to that can probably help a lot of the problems that we go through in the world. I mean, because it can help bring us together at times like this. I mean, like this podcast, for example. But uh, all the false information that gets out every day is just problematic. I think we should be more in tune with trying to fact check everything that everyone says and not take everything that anybody says on any social media platform with a grain of salt. Don't just go out, oh, I heard this from here. We need to make sure everyone's credible.
Fact check.
Someone a few episodes ago said that we should take the political compass test or whatever that is, and I I've done it before, and there's a question on there that says, I'm not sure exactly how it's worded, but it says, do you think that there's a worrying amount of information and entertainment spread around the media in America today? And I think there most definitely is. There's a lot of false information being spread. There's a lot of panic being spread. And I'm not talking about coronavirus, okay? We can talk about that later. I'm just saying there's a lot of shit being said on the TV and on your phones that may or may not be true. There's actually a lot of stuff on the internet that's most definitely not true, and most of it is opinion based. A lot of media sources are biased.
Pretty crazy, right?
Most of them are biased, actually. You probably won't find nowadays. You probably won't find an unbiased media source.
Except for Drama Alert.
Go subscribe to Drama Alert.
Let's get right into the news, boys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sure.
yeah. Anyone have anything to say about that? Cool.
Yeah. I mean, the media sites are very biased at this point. And I mean, you don't really know what to listen to or what to believe because I mean, we never really know who to listen to and who to believe because anything could be right. Like anything could just be a theory and be right.
Yeah.
So we don't actually know who to listen to, but we all have to have a common goal of knowing what's actually true and what's not true. And when there's like our Democrat news people saying that we all need to make healthcare like a national healthcare, do you think we can actually pay for that, dude? We can't even make it through the pandemic alone, let alone all of us being broke right now because we've all been paying for healthcare.
I think that ties into people just expecting, especially in first world countries like America, people expecting to just be handed information and to just know stuff like this when really you should be questioning the information. You should be questioning the media and what they present you because you can't just put your trust into someone, into a corporation, into a media organization. You can't just say, oh, what they say is fact 100% and I trust that because that could put you in danger.
For sure. All right.
Do we have any other topics?
Uh, I think that was the last of them.
Does anyone have any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
Nah. I think just a good little podcast with the boys. Happy 420,
420.
everyone. Next one we'll have another special guest on. It'll be more beat. We got some clips coming soon for y'all. We have a lot of good things. Make sure you like this up. Next day, let's get goodness algorithm. Webcams are coming in the future. So do not worry. We're just going through an issue right now with them because of the coronavirus. Everything's a little bit jacked.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone for coming out. Go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. Social media links in the
Appreciate
description.
the help and support.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. There's also a donation link in the description, social media links. If you
Yeah.
haven't, follow our Instagram,
The
follow us on
Dubcast.
Snapchat. We're about
Yeah.
to make a Facebook as well. That'll be in the description very soon.
Affect is the Facebook.
Yes, sir. AFAC, our secretary, will get that ready for you guys, and we'll have it in the description as soon as possible. I appreciate everyone for coming out today. I'll
Of
see y'all.
course.